I believe my little pictures here are kind of self-explanatory. They show an economy and the currency in circulation in that economy. Some people put their money in the bank. The savings rate varies from country to country. The savings rate in the United States is very low. Banks are able to loan money by using fractional reserves. They can, if you deposit $1 in the bank can loan, say, theoretically, $9 to somebody else. What would hurt an economy is not only lack of production of goods and services, but also a low savings rate. What would make us vulnerable to another economy is that they have a high savings rate. It turns out that economies are interconnected because we exchange goods and services and therefore money. An economy can be represented by the currency in circulation. The currency itself is of no value except that it represents the goods and services produced in that economy. The money is just paper, but it is accepted in exchange for goods and services. It's a medium of exchange, and it is supposed to store that value. The government and the banks can destroy the value of the currency by printing, issuing, loaning too much. A central bank attempts to control the money supply and allow it to expand as the economy expands. And they're able to contract the money supply through interest rates in order to stop inflation of the money supply. The Federal Reserve banking system is central to our economic survival. If we are at war with an unnamed party who have not declared war but are using subversive elements in this country to undermine this country, and these subversive elements are either greedy and criminal, or they are misled, duped, fooled, misinformed, provoked. Money Wars 2, there is a group of people, or there were people, who vowed to destroy capitalism. That strikes me as strange. Maybe it strikes you as strange. Should we take these people seriously? They are, the people I'm talking about are Marxist, communist, socialist. And I think I read this on something like a wiki article about the Comintern, which is the Communist International, which is apparently a group of people who met periodically under the direction of the Communist Party that at the time dominated the USSR. The article said that Stalin disbanded the Comintern in 1943. But the article shows the people, the groups from various countries who were invited by Stalin to his meeting. And if I'm not mistaken, it said that their goal was to destroy capitalism. Are they a bunch of crazies who faded away, died off, or are they still around? In World War II, I suspect that one of the motivators to involve the United States in what could have been called a European squabble involving Hitler taking over Poland, Americans would probably say, what's that got to do with us? We don't want to get involved in that. We just had a world war about 20-25 years before that. We're not anxious to go to war, but some people were trying to involve the United States, and I believe these people were communists in the United States, American citizens, because communism spread all around the world, not to a large extent. It was scattered. So there were small communist groups everywhere, including the United States. And apparently these ideas, which are kind of a mixture of economics and politics, originated in Europe about 1850, shortly after and during the French Revolution. Turns out these so-called democracies in Europe started in a fundamentally different way from the democracy known as the United States of America. We didn't overthrow the monarchy, the king. We simply said, we are independent and we are going to run our colonies over here in the United States. But in Europe, the people had to fight to overthrow kings. And in the case of Russia, the fellow they called the Tsar, Nicholas, was simply a king. Another word that's not very flattering for a king, especially if he's a bad king, an oppressive person who exploits the people and lives high on the hog and uses his people as slaves and cannon fodder, is dictator. The people of Europe attempted to overthrow kings, czars, dictators, or in some cases maybe benevolent monarchs. In the case of England, they had what they regarded a benevolent monarch, and they simply limited his powers without overthrowing him or killing him.